Alright, so in today's video, I'm going over all of the primary weapons on a tier list. Alright, so obviously the first tier that we have is the delete tier, guns that are terrible. If you bring these guns, you are going to lose no matter what. We have the glass rifle, single shot sniper rifle that doesn't one-shot people, so that's definitely up first. Worst weapon in the game, arguably. Second is Cali sniper. Now you can make an argument that if you're good with this weapon, you're going to be really good, especially because you have a secondary weapon that complements it, which is your SMG. But taking away all of that and just looking at the weapon itself, at what it is just a bad weapon. Yes, it has the potential to one-shot people to the body, but that only really works if you're really far away and you have a clear line of sight on them, which most of the time you don't, and if you miss your shot, you're done. Also, it doesn't one-shot people whenever you hit him in the feet anymore. It's only a torso area kind of thing, which is what it should have been, but that aside, it's a bad weapon. And then you have Tachanka's LMG. There can be an argument made to put him a little higher, but the fire rate is terrible. Yes, he can make rotates and stuff like that, but Tachanka brings impacts and an SMG that's actually still pretty good, so I don't think it's a good weapon. It's a pretty bad weapon. Next you have the mech category. It's under, it's not really good. Definitely not broken. It's a little under okay. It's just they kind of exist. Nobody really plays them a lot. They're kind of just forced to. First you obviously have Pulse's SMG. Has to be one of the worst SMGs in the game. Just the fire rate one is terrible and the damage is terrible, and if you don't bring an extended barrel, the drop-off damage is even worse. So yeah, overall bad weapon. Next is Smoke SMG. It's just, again, damage terrible, fire rate terrible, bad weapon. Lion's AR, I guess he could be put higher, but fire rate's bad, damage is okay. The drum mag is nice, but I just don't like the weapon. I never find myself winning gunfights with it a lot, which is probably a me issue, but we're not gonna talk about that. Next is Cav SMG. Cav SMG, just the damage is bad, fire rate terrible, overall pretty bad weapon. Next is Blackbeard DMR. Damage is actually okay, but it is DMR, and the magazine size is just not all that good, so I'm putting it in meh. Before I continue on, I do want to say that a lot of these weapons that I put in meh are gonna make a lot of people mad, but if you compare it to the weapons that are higher on the list, I think we can come to an understanding that it needs to be placed this low on the list. You have Capitao and Gridlock's LMG. Rate of fire terrible, damage is okay, but really it's just that rate of fire. It is atrocious. Same with Blackbeard's AR. Damage is actually pretty bad. Magazine size is really bad. Rate of fire really bad, so that's why it stays here. P90 I think is a little underrated, but fire rate is great. Drop-off damage, terrible. Damage in general, terrible. The recoil is a little bit hard to manage, but it's not too bad. Next is Zero's Skyhook. It's pretty bad. Rate of fire bad, magazine size bad, damage bad. I don't like this weapon. Gridlock's AR. I didn't really know where to put this one because I don't feel like it's that bad, but at the same time, everything above it is just 10 times better, so I kind of just stuck it here. That's really the only reason I have for putting it in May. Let me know if you disagree with that or anything else. This is a bit controversial, at least so far. I can definitely tell there's going to be people that are going to be mad at me for putting certain guns where I've put them, but from my experience and the amount of gunfights I've been able to win with these weapons, they definitely belong where they are. Buck's DMR is bad. Again, rate of fire is a single shot weapon, magazine size is not too great, damage is not too great, recoil is not too great. Same with Maverick's DMR. And then you have the slug DMR shotgun thing, whatever it is, that Alibi brings. I've seen it been used very well if you can use it very well, but if you can't, it is dog shit, so I don't recommend using this weapon. Then you have Twitch and Lions DMR. Actually not a bad weapon. I don't want to move it up. I think the weapons above it are just too good. But yeah, I mean, damage is okay. Range is pretty good. Magazine size is okay. It is a single shot weapon. But yeah, it's okay. And then Frost AR. Frost AR, the problem is 1, the drop off damage, 2, the damage in general, and 3, the rate of fire. The recoil is actually extremely easy to manage, so if you can hit headshots, it's actually a really good weapon. The magazine size isn't too bad, but it's still not as good as the other ones on the list. So yeah, moving on to the OK category. We have Mute's MP5K. Again, not too bad. It's just you're usually going to bring the shotgun and the SMG-11 over the MP5K. It is an SMG, so the range drop-off damage is pretty bad. Damage in general is pretty bad. Recoil is pretty easy to control, but it's okay. People are going to get mad at me for this one. Thunderbird and Finka's weapon. I do not think it is that good. I think the rate of fire is atrocious, and so is the damage. You can hate me for that. I don't care. I don't like the weapon. I put Dokubi's DMR. I actually like Dokubi's DMR a lot. Recoil is pretty easy to manage. Rate of fire for a single shot weapon at least is pretty good. Almost no drop off damage. Damage in general is pretty good, so I put it in okay. You have Cade's AR, I think? Yeah. Magazine size is okay. Damage is okay. So it's kind of just an okay weapon. You have the G36C, which is on Ashe and Yana. Again, rate of fire is pretty good. Damage is pretty good. Drop off damage is pretty good. It has ACOG on it, at least for Ashe, so I put it in the okay category. Capitao has a pretty okay AR. Same thing as most of the other ARs here. Good rate of fire, good damage. So it is okay. Now we have Cade's other primary choice, which is the TCSG, which is a DMR. The only DMR that's this high, I think. Yeah, the only DMR that's this high. I really like this weapon, actually. It does a really, really good amount of damage, and the trigger discipline that you can have on this gun is actually really good. It does make holes like a shotgun does. Overall, I think it's actually pretty versatile. Ying's LMG arguably could go higher, but I think the rate of fire is the only thing that's stopping it. But very, very good weapon. Damage is crazy. The amount of ammo you have is crazy. So I'll keep it in probably the top of okay. Let's look at Mozzie's Commando. People, again, are going to get mad at me for this one. I don't think it's that good. I think the rate of fire is not that good. I think the damage is not that good. And at least compared to the P10 Roni, which you'll see later, I don't think that it's that good. R4C, I would have put in good, maybe at the very, very top in S tier, but the recoil got nerfed, the damage got nerfed. So because of that, I'm going to have to keep it in okay. It doesn't have the ACOG like it used to anymore, so most people are actually running the G36C now. Habana's AR, I wanted to put a little higher, but I think whenever they decreased the magazine size a while back, it kind of just took away how good the AR was, so I'm going to keep it in okay. You have the MP5. I think it's pretty good. Damage is okay. Drop-off damage is atrocious. Magazine size is okay. Rate of fire is pretty good. So I think it's okay. I might actually put this higher. I don't know. Because you can have 2x on Rook. You can have the 2x scope. So I'll put it at the very top of okay. That's what I'll do. Because I think everybody in their hearts kind of likes MP5 a little more than they should. Okay. Alibi gun. People swear by this gun. I hate the recoil, I hate the damage. The rate of fire is pretty good, but that's really the only thing it has going for it, so I'm keeping it okay. Bandits SMG, pretty good. Damage, pretty good. Recoil, pretty good. Rate of fire, pretty good. So yeah, I think it's okay. Capcan's SMG, same thing as Bandits pretty much. Just a little bit less rate of fire, a little bit less recoil. So yeah, it's okay. You have Finka and Fuse LMG. This has an amazing amount of ammo, so you find yourself reloading very, very little. The damage is a lot. There's 0 drop-off damage because it's an LMG. You can shoot through walls really well without a lot of damage being dropped off from penetration, but the rate of fire is terrible. And the recoil isn't too hard to manage, but it's a little hard to manage. So that's why I put it in okay. Buck's AR is pretty good actually. They nerfed the recoil a little bit, and the rate of fire isn't the best, so that's why I put it in like the high row of okay. But overall, it's okay. You have Wamai and IQ's AUG. AUG is pretty good. Rate of fire is the only thing that's kind of stopping me here, but the actual damage, 0 drop off damage, the amount of ammo it has is actually pretty good. Commando is pretty good. I wouldn't put it higher than okay, because some of these weapons that are in the next category, as you'll see, are very, very good. But it's definitely up there. It's just a really well-rounded gun in general. It has good scopes, it has a good ammo size, it has good damage, a good rate of fire, but nothing too exceptional. It's kind of just okay on all grounds. And then the last one on this list we have is Valkyrie's SMG. This thing, damage-wise, is a pea shooter, but there's 0 recoil and a large amount of ammo, so if you can hit heads, it's actually really, really good. But other than that, it's an okay weapon. Now moving on to the good category, the weapons that I've been speaking of that have been bringing the rest of the weapons down. First, you have Mira and Goyo's Vector. This might make a little bit of people mad that I put this over some other weapons, which is why I put it at the bottom of good. But the rate of fire is outstanding. I mean, this thing shoots so fast. And if you know how to control it, it is a headshot machine, a body shot machine. The damage is crazy. There's almost 0 drop-off damage. It's insane. A really good player that knows how to use this weapon very well is Bolo. He plays Goyo a lot and just shreds with this thing, so that's why it's in good. T5 SMG, it's brung on Legion and Oryx, also really good. It has great rate of fire, great damage, good magazine size, almost no fall-off damage, so that's why I put it up there. And then you have Twitch F2, which back in the day used to be arguably the best AR in the game, but after the nerf, I think it's still very, very good, but not what it used to be. Rate of fire is really what keeps it up there. This thing shoots so many bullets so quickly. Not as much as the Vector, I don't think, but the F2 is crazy, crazy. The damage is crazy. The recoil is relatively easy to control. So yeah, Twitch's F2 is great. Zofia LMG. Normally I probably would have put this higher, but they did nerf it recently. The recoil is actually difficult to control now. And compared to the LMG that she has, it's just the ammo count is not enough. The recoil is not worth it. So that's why she's kind of at the bottom of good here. Okay, now you have Vigil's AR. Vigil's AR is pretty good. Damage is pretty good. Fire rate's pretty good. That's really all I can say about it. It's just a very, very well-rounded weapon. Okay, Mav's AR. Mav's AR is amazing. Almost 0 recoil. Damage is insane. Rate of fire is okay. Magazine size is pretty good. But you win almost every gunfight with this gun. It is amazing. Okay, Jackal's AR. This I put on a pedestal because I like 1, the sights that come with it, 2, the ammo count, and 3, the amount of damage it does is actually really good. The only thing kind of holding it back is the fire rate, but it's still an amazing weapon that I think is pretty underrated. So next you have Jackal's other primary weapon that also comes on OSA, the PDW. This SMG has a 50-round drum mag. It has a high amount of damage. The recoil is a little difficult to control, but I think if you literally just pull down, you'll be fine. But yeah, overall, this thing shreds. This is a body shot machine. If you can hit heads with this, even better. Next, on to Maestro's primary, we have the Alda. They tried to nerf the Alda by taking the 2x away, but the fire rate, the magazine size, the damage, no drop-off damage, the easy-to-control recoil, arguably the best LMG in the game, under, I think, like 1 or 2. Next, we have the G8. This comes on Amaru and Yana. This is kind of an unpopular gun, and I don't know why, but this thing's damage is crazy for the amount of ammo that it has and the fire rate. So I really like the G8. I don't know if other people like the G8 too, but personally, I really like the G8. Then you have Thermite's AR. This can probably go lower on the list, but Thermite's AR I actually like a lot. The only thing kind of holding that back is the fire rate, but the damage is amazing. There's 0 drop-off damage. The magazine size is great. The scopes that come on it are even better. I've always just really liked this AR. Let's look at Nomad's AK. Nomad's AK is pretty good. The magazine size is amazing. Damage is pretty good. Fire rate's pretty good. But I'm going to put it at the bottom of good because it doesn't nearly compare to the rest of these weapons. Next, we have the P10 Roni that comes on Mozzie and comes on a Rooney. This thing is a headshot machine. Little to no recoil. Drop-off damage is a little bad, but the rate of fire is great. Magazine size is not good at all, but if you know how to manage your ammo really well, it's pretty good. This gun just feels amazing to use, and I find myself barely missing with this gun. I love the holographic that comes with it. I just love this gun so much. Personal favorite of mine. You can probably disagree because of the ammo count and the drop-off damage, but I love this gun. And then we have Yana's AR, which arguably could be an S tier weapon. The only thing holding me back is the ammo count. It only has 20 rounds, but the damage is great. Fire rate is great. I think it is one of the best, like, well-rounded weapons in the entire game of Siege. So Yana and Nomad's weapon, I'm going to stick at the very top of good. Now we get into the final 3, the broken ARs of Siege. Obviously, we have Zofia LMG. If you do not put Zofia LMG in the broken tier, you have not been playing in Plat Elo enough. If you know how to use this weapon, there's no killing you. There's literally just no killing you. The magazine holds 100 rounds. So you just keep shooting. You literally, what you do is you grab your mouse, and as you go around the map, you hold left click, okay? So whenever you turn corners, as you're holding left click, if anybody's on that corner, you kill them before they see you. So you pre-fire everything, you keep shooting through walls, and you'll get probably a lucky kill or two every single round. Damage, crazy. Fire rate, crazy. Recoil control, not really that hard. So broken weapon. Let's talk about Ace's AR. They tried to nerf this, man, but it is still just amazing. The magazine size, great. The damage is outstanding. The range is great. The recoil is not really that hard to control if you know what attachments to put on it. Personally, I have the 2x scope, and I have the vertical grip that helps me control that downward movement, and then I put flash hider to kind of also help me control the downward movement, but also to get the left and right movement. It's stabilized a little bit, and it just makes it really easy to use. But other than that, it is broken. It's crazy. They had to nerf Ace within, like, I think a week of release. They had to nerf this gun for Ace and Fuse. It was ridiculous, and it's still broken. And then finally, everybody's favorite gun to go from bronze to gold, Ella's primary. This gun's rate of fire is like nothing you've ever seen before. You empty a clip in like 3 seconds, and it's like 31 rounds, dog. It's insane. And if you know how to control the recoil with certain attachments, it's a headshot machine. You don't miss with this gun. And if you do miss and you hit the body, and what you do is you don't pull your mouse down, you just left click and you let the gun go up and hit their head because the fire rate's so high that you headshot them anyway. So it's kind of ridiculous. On top of that, the damage, don't even get me started on the damage. It's insane. You put a flash hider and a vertical grip on this bad boy, there's zero stopping you. You just win. You literally just win the game. But when we get into, I think the next video I'm going to do shotguns on the tier list, her shotgun is even better than that. And they just nerfed it last patch from 35 damage to 25 damage per shot, and it's still broken. So Ella is crazy, and you wonder why on my last video I put her in the broken tier. She's insane. But yeah, I think that's all of the primary guns. Let me look through here again just to make sure I didn't miss any. Oh, Jaeger's gun. I didn't put Jaeger's gun. Jaeger's gun is good. Damage is great. Fire rate's great. Recoil's a little hard to control, but yeah, Jaeger goes in good. How did I forget Jaeger's gun? That's like everybody's favorite AR. Let me make sure I didn't get anything else. No, I'm good. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. This is a bit of a personally swayed tier list compared to my map tier list and my operator tier list, but personally, I think these are the best options, really. If I had to make any changes, maybe I'd put Lion's AR higher. Maybe I'd put the G36C up there, but I can't really think of anything else that I'd do. So, yeah, that's it. Don't forget to sub. I think 75% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed, and I'm just starting out, so it would be awesome if you could subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you disagree with anything I have to say, please let me know. I want to hear it. Other than that, if you like the video, like it. If you dislike the video, dislike it. And see you in the next one.